Welcome to J is for Justice podcast. If live breaking news and following true crime is your thing, then please consider subscribing to my channel. And if you like what you see in my videos, please consider giving them a thumbs up. Hey, Roberters and Robertolinos. Welcome to J is for Justice. My name is Jay and I'm your host. It is Thursday afternoon. Welcome. We have a new case that we are watching in Idaho. And I put the poll up because I wanted to know if you guys had seen this. And it looks like a lot of you have only seen clips. Alexis, isn't that par for the course on YouTube? Making something out of nothing, right? Not of nothing, but you know. My glasses are driving me crazy, you guys. I'm getting new glasses and I cannot wait. Hey guys, Shell, Angie B, HJ, Mike Sandman, they are all your moderators today. If I missed any mods, I apologize. Mom to 3 kitties, thank you so much. Ooh, I had double JBs there. Yikes. Let me end the poll so I can see where we stand. And I will read your super chat, Mom. Thank you so much. Yeah, I don't know what you expected. Hey, Kim. Hey, Frankie. Hey, Rex, CR, I am so glad you're here. Before we get started, I'm going to try, Ashley. I'm going to try. So 66% of you have followed it. 33% have not. So we're going to just go over it beginning to end because I haven't followed all of it either yet. So I waited for you guys. But I want to read Kitty's super chat. Hey, Jay, have you seen the food truck video from the night they were murdered? Hood guy was definitely stalking Maddie and Kaylee. On another note, could you please answer my email? I don't know what your email is. You got to tell me. Because if it's not Mom to 3 kitties, then I have a hard time knowing who it is. Yes, Mike Sanner. Mike D's, I don't know. Since you're here, I might just play a lot of sound bites. Just for you.
I don't know.
Just because you said that, Mike D's. Hello, Angel. Hey, Mike. Good to see you. And hey, Alexis. Alexis has a lot to say about this. So before I have to talk about a couple of our members for a minute. But before I get to that, I have to check out what Ashley said. Or Alexis, I'm sorry. And every time I read your name, Alexis, I always think of Schitt's Creek. Okay, so Ashley, let's see. She said she had a great time yesterday. She was new yesterday, you guys. So welcome, Ashley. And your dog is really cute. Hey, Jude. Welcome back. I've been obsessing over this case. So sad and not many unanswered questions. Scott Briggs so far sounds like someone ran afoul of the wrong people. Drug deal gone wrong. Who knows? Serial killer. I don't understand why they keep calling it a targeted attack, says Krista Marie. And then Alexis says, I'm so glad you're covering this, Jay. Everyone else asks dumb questions, comes up with crazy theories that aren't plausible, LOL. And I said par for the course. So before we get started, hey, Tough Tiff and Flo and Board One. Welcome back, you guys.
Grandma just called and said you're supposed to go home.
It's from Mom to 3 Kitties or NJ Marie. Okay, I'll look because I didn't see it, but I'll make sure I do a search. It drives me crazy that I can miss so many emails. But before we get started, and thank you so much, Mom to 3. Hey, Vince. I want to spotlight a couple of our members. And I think I'm going to have to go grab something really quick. So give me just 2 seconds. I got to grab something because I got to show you. We have some amazing reverters, and I have to show you. So hold on. Okay, so Judy, I don't know if Judy is here, but you guys are so special that I have to showcase you. So I got a package yesterday from Judy HCF, and I don't know if she's here or not, but she made me some bracelets. And I got one after the Gabby Petito case, and I realized that Judy was the one that made them, and it was Noelle Damaged Goods that sent me my first one, and she said that she had more beads and stuff, and if I wanted more, that she would make more, but I wanted to show you guys what she made. So I have this, and they're, the Gabby colors. I don't know if you can see that well. Hold on. Let's do one at a time. Hey, Shamrock. So there's one of them. And here's the other one. So thank you so much, Judy HCF. And then I also want to give a huge thank you to CR, who's in chat. I'm really glad you're here because she sent kitty food. And let me tell you, we are going through the kitty food like crazy. This mama is one hungry mama. So I also wanted to say to Judy, and I'm sorry she's not here, but she bought, poor Judy, she bought AWP bracelets. And that was what she was going to send to me first. And she said, now I'm going to throw all of them out. That damn Jared. Agreed. So I'm so sorry, Judy, that you wasted your money on their merch. And they ended up, being a total letdown, to say the least. Thank you so much. I was like, yay, kitty food. Because we had actually just run out of the hard food. She's eating me out of house and home, y'all. All right. So thank you again, you guys, for everything that you send and everything that you do for the fur babies. And it was bath morning here. So the pooches are all nice and clean. You can see Bella's tail is very fluffy today. So they are all spruced up for the weekend. And tomorrow we're going to be doing a special Friday. We're going to be I have so many updates. I have Roberta updates. I have Brittany Griner updates. I can't even tell you. Michael Vaughn. No, not Michael Vaughn. But I have a bunch of updates. The event is up. You guys can hit the notification bell. And tune in with me tomorrow for Friday Live. So let's get into, hey, Baya. Baya has changed. Baya changed her name. The new Baya is Silence is Betrayal. And her cover photo is her art, you guys. So if you go to Silence is Betrayal's YouTube, that is her art. She drew that. And that's pretty amazing. So, hey, Pennsylvania. So let's get into this case. We have an update from the police. We have a press conference to watch. We also have a bunch of other information from here. So let's first go to Let's go to the press conference because this will give us a baseline of everything, and then we can read the updates from there because there's more surveillance video and stuff. So let's go ahead and start with the Moscow.
We know here. My name is Chief James Fry with the Moscow Police Department. I'm going to be reading from my notes today because I want the information you receive to be extremely accurate. We know you have questions, and so do we. That is why we're here. I'd like to thank everyone for attending this press conference. Joining me today is the Latah County Prosecutor Bill Thompson, University of Idaho President Scott Green, Provost and Vice President Tori Lawrence, University of Idaho Dean of Students Blaine Eccles, Latah County Sheriff Richie Skiles, Chief Deputy of Latah County Tim Best, Idaho State Police Colonel Kedrick Wills. The Moscow Police Department would like to extend our condolences to all family members, friends, the University of Idaho, and the Moscow community. This was a horrible crime that took the lives of Ethan Chapin, Xana Kernodle, Madison Mogan, and Kaylee Goncalves. This horrible crime has affected all of us, the families, the University of Idaho, our community, our country, and our officers. Agencies that are involved in this task force include Latah County Sheriff's Office, the Idaho State Police, and the Federal Bureau of Investigations. As we continue our investigation, we have learned that Ethan and Xana were at a party on campus, and Madison and Kaylee were at a downtown bar. They arrived home sometime after 1:45. If anyone in our community or across our nation has any information about these times or the victims' whereabouts, please call our tip line at 208-883-7180. The facts of the case that we know right now. We know that these homicides occurred in the early morning hours of Sunday, November 13th. Around noon, Moscow officers received a call of an unconscious person. Officers discovered the bodies of Ethan Chapin, Xana Kernodle, Madison Mogan, and Kaylee Goncalves inside the residence on King Road. The four were stabbed with a knife, but no weapon has been located at this time. There was no sign of forced entry into the residence. Investigators are continuing to collect evidence at the scene. Investigators are working to develop a timeline to relevant events. Autopsies are taking place today on all the victims so we can continue to gather evidence and solve the crime. Investigators are working to follow up on all leads and to identify a person of interest. Based on details at the scene, we believe this was an isolated, targeted attack on our victims. We do not have a suspect at this time, and that individual is still out there. We cannot say that there's no threat to the community, and as we have stated, please stay vigilant, report any suspicious activity, and be aware of your surroundings at all times. What we don't know, the identity and location of the suspect, the location of the knife or any clothing that was worn by the suspect. Currently, we have 25 plus investigators working this case, as well as assistance from the Federal Bureau of Investigation and the Idaho State Police. We're reviewing video that has been collected, but we are asking citizens to contact us with any information you may have that will help in this investigation. Once again, we're asking anyone with a tip to call the tip line at 208-883-7180. At this time, I would like to introduce the University of Idaho President, Scott Green.
Thank you, Chief Fry. I'm Scott Green, President of the University of Idaho, and with me is Tori Lawrence. He's our Provost, and Blaine Eccles, our Dean of Students, will be available for questions after all of the statements are made. The crime, to us, this crime and the loss of these young lives is just simply beyond comprehension. While our small community is certainly not immune to such things, it's not a situation our close-knit campus is used to dealing with. First, my deepest condolences to the families. And friends of Ethan, Kaylee, Zena, and Madison. Excuse me. Their loss has been devastating, and they were bright lights in our community and are deeply missed and remain in our thoughts and our prayers. We've been working with Moscow police since we were notified on Sunday of the crime. We've helped when asked and continually pushed for information whenever possible, knowing that we cannot interfere with the important work and good investigations that are occurring. We just want justice for these victims. Our focus at the university is to support our students and our employees. We are encouraging students and employees to take care of themselves as we head into Thanksgiving break. I want to take a moment to commend our faculty and staff who have been on the front lines helping our students, whether that is providing counseling to those in need of support, accommodating those who want to travel home, or engaging those who find comfort in staying busy interacting with their peers and our instructors in class. Our employees stepped up when our students needed them. While we have relied heavily on the expertise of Moscow police, we feel confident that remaining open with flexibility to leave allows our students to decide what is best for them. The weeks ahead will continue to challenge us as this loss and the circumstances around this crime become known. We will support each other as we grieve, and we'll move through this together as a Vandal family. Thank you.
I would like to have Colonel Kedrick Wills come to the podium, please.
Good afternoon. My name is Kedrick Wills. I serve as the director of the Idaho State Police. And as we have this discussion today, I'd like to express my appreciation for your attendance here because it's important, vitally important, that we get the information that we have out to the public. Crime knows no boundaries, and these murders have shaken us to our very core. You heard the university president as well as the chief of police talk about this small community, and it's a very close, tight-knit community. And our hearts break for the families that lost their loved ones. the University of Idaho, the Moscow community, and even within our entire state. Be assured, the Idaho State Police is firmly in support of the work that the Moscow Police Department is doing, and we are providing every resource that we can to make sure that this comes to a conclusion, and the person or people that this is responsible are brought to justice. It's so important that you understand that this takes a team effort. This is teamwork with the university, with this Moscow City Police Department, the Latah County Sheriff's Office, the Idaho State Police, and the Federal Bureau of Investigation. It takes everybody to be able to do this. And it's a balancing act. It's a balancing act of getting the community the information that they need to have with making sure that we provide a case that the Latah County Prosecutor's Office can go forward with. Governor Little, Idaho's governor, full weight of all the resources we have within our state are available to Chief Fry and to his team. Our crime lab is also involved with processing evidence, and our law enforcement throughout the region, state and federal agencies continue to provide resources. From the Idaho State Police's perspective, we provided detectives here from this area, as well as detectives from out of the area, state police detectives, as well as patrol resources and communications assistance as well to provide for Chief Fry and his team. Following this briefing, our communications director from the Idaho State Police, Aaron Snell, if you'd raise your hand, Aaron, he will be the contact for all press media inquiries from here on out. He'll be working closely with Chief Fry and his team. And we have additional, like I said, additional patrol and investigation resources brought to bear here as well. We want to do everything we can to make sure that this is done correctly and that the people that are responsible for this are brought to justice.
So at this time, I'm going to open it up to some questions that I'm sure you have, and we'll do the best we can to answer those for you.
Hello, Chief Ray.
Hello.
Thank you for having us. I'm Amanda Rowley with Creme 2 News. You mentioned that there's an indication that it's an isolated, targeted incident, and there is an individual somewhere. Can you give us a reason as to why there's that belief there is a suspect? Can you also give a little more information on the forced entry? There's no sign of forced entry, but was the door, did it seem like any of the entries were left unlocked by any means?
I'll answer the last part there just because it's at the front end of my mind. We're not 100% sure if the door was unlocked, but there was no damage to anything, and the door was still open when we got there.
And my first question,
Yeah.
if you'd like me to read.
No, I think I haven't. In these cases, we take the totality of the things that we see, and they're very dynamic, right? And they're very big, and there's a lot of information, and we try to take that information, and some of it we can't share with you, correct? But we try to take that information, we try to make the best educated decision we can. We review that as a team with our detectives, along with our prosecutors, along with the university, and we try to make that best decision on that. So we, at that time, believe that there was no a threat, and our goal is to provide safety for this community. That's why we're bringing in the resources we're bringing. We want a close to this, and we want to do everything we can to let the people in our community know that we care. We want them to feel safe. We want them to be safe, and we're going to do everything we can to do that.
And if I could add one more question. You asked for videos or anything from the community to help put together that timeline. We obtained a copy of Twitch video, and family members of the Gonsalves family were able to identify Maddie and Kaylee in those videos at a food truck ordering food. Is the police department, our investigators, aware of that video, and has it helped put together that timeline?
We are aware of that video, and it has helped. It gives us a time and space where we know that two of our victims were, and that helps us a ton, and we'll continue to follow up all leads that we can and continue to gather those.
Any indication of a party at the home that night?
This will be the last one, okay? I understand. Not that we know of, not at the home. We know that the other let me get the names exactly right here. We know that Zaina and Ethan were at a different party on campus.
Thank you.
But that timeline will still help us if other people know about that.
Thank you.
Chief Wright, John Webb with KHQ. On September 12th, there was a vandal alert that was sent out about a potential stabbing threat on Paradise Path. Does this have any connection with what we've seen so far?
Not that we know of it, but we're following up every lead. Every piece of information we get, we are following up to ensure that nothing has gone unturned. We want to have the individual identified, who is the suspect of this eventually. So we are literally looking into every aspect of everything.
And you guys have said repeatedly that there's no threat to the public, but we don't know who the suspect is. We don't know where he's at. How is there no threat to the public at this point?
Well, that's kind of an unknown. Like I said, we took the information that we had at the time, but we do need to be aware the individual is still out there, right? We need to be vigilant. We need to watch out for our neighbors. We're a community policing community. We've said that for years, and it's a community that watches out for each other. We need to continue to do that until we can close this off and make an arrest.
Why has there been such limited information over the past couple of days? I mean, we're almost 4 days into this. Why has it been so limited?
Yeah, it's a difficult, we have a lot of information coming in, and, we have tried to push out some information through press releases. But the reality is, I probably should have been standing here a day or so ago, but I'm here now. We're going to continue to be here. We're going to continue to give you the information we can. We care about this community. I care about this community. I've worked here for 27 years. I want this community to be the safest community around. So
The mayor's called it a crime of passion. Is there any indication that that's true?
we're looking into every aspect of this. I'm not going to stipulate whether it's one thing or another. We're going to continue to investigate until we have the facts, because really it's the facts that will drive what the cause of this is. And as we gather evidence, we'll get that. So.
Okay. One last question, if I could, Chief. Have we looked at any boyfriends or any ex-boyfriends, any spouses as a potential suspect?
I will tell you, we are looking at everyone. Every tip we get, every lead we get, there's no one that we're not going to talk to. There's no one we're not going to interview. There's no one that we're not going to look into. And we're going to do our due diligence. We're going to make sure that nothing goes unturned. We do everything we can with the assistance of all the resources we have to get a final answer.
Thanks, Chief Wright.
So there were, sorry, I'm Emma Epperly with the Spokes Interview. Hi. So there were other roommates who lived at that residence. Were the roommates home at the time of the attack?
There was other people home at that time, but we're not just focusing just on them. We're focusing on everybody that may be coming and going from that residence.
So since they were home, was it a hostage situation?
No, it was not.
And then they didn't call it into police. So were they injured?
They were not injured. But like I said, we're still following up with everybody that could have been in that area.
And how can you say it's a targeted attack if you don't have a suspect?
Like I said, we take the totality of the situation. We try to make the best bit of information we can with everything that comes in, and then we make our decision off of that. So at this time, I'm not going to expand upon that. But like I've said, we do have out somewhere, and we are looking for that individual to solve this.
Hi, Rachel Sun, Northwest Public Broadcasting. I just want to clarify something you said earlier. Over the past couple of days, the information that we've been getting is there's not a threat to the public. And earlier I heard you say you can't be assured that there is no threat. I just want to clarify what your stance is on that at this time.
So we still believe it's a targeted attack, but the reality is there's still out there who committed 4 horrible crimes. So I think we got to go back to there is a threat out there still, possibly. We don't know. We don't believe it's going to be to anybody else, but we all have to be aware of our surroundings and make sure that we're watching out for each other.
Okay, and then one other follow-up. I know you said when the call came in, it was for an unconscious person, and also that was a stabbing. It seems, just from an outside perspective looking in, like that would be not the first thing a person calling in would think.
You're right. But the report that we got was that it was an unconscious individual. It wasn't until our officers arrived on scene, went in to do caregiving check on the individual who was unconscious, that we found the scene that we found.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah.
Hi, Heather Roberts with ABC News. Just to follow up on what she asked. So the other 2 roommates were there at the time of the attack?
All the information that we have from our investigation is that, yes, they were.
Okay, but they were unhurt.
That is correct.
So is there any explanation as to why it took so long then for someone to call 911? You have surviving witnesses to an incident at 3 or 4 in the morning, and the 911 call didn't come until noon?
I don't think I ever said that they were witnesses. I said they were there. So, we don't know why that call came in at noon and not in the middle of the night. Would have we loved for that to have happened? Yes, but that's not how it took place. So that's why we're investigating everything still, to try to pull all the pieces together.
Were they one of the people, were they the 911 caller?
At this point in time, I'm not going to divulge who our 911 caller is, just because I want to keep the integrity of the investigation at this point. Okay.
Okay. And last question, are you able to tell whether the same weapon was used on all 4 victims?
That's why we're having the autopsies done. The autopsy will confirm that and hopefully collect some evidence for us, even from those. That's why you do the autopsies, is to try to be thorough and try to gather more. So we'll leave that would probably be something that would come out later.
Okay.
Excuse me, Derek Shub, Fox News Digital. Was there anything missing in the home, or were the purses still there? Any robbery attempt, anything like that?
Nothing that we have identified. And I'm going to take about 2 more questions, all right?
Hi, I'm Tim with the Daily Evergreen. I was just wondering, were the 2 other individuals present at the home when police responded at noon?
Yes.
Okay.
Chief, if you don't mind elaborating a bit more on those 2 people. What was it, 2 people? What have those people shared about the circumstances of that night, what they saw or didn't see?
Well, I'm not going to go into what they shared that night. Obviously, that's part of our investigation. That's part of the information that we're trying to build our complete story with. So at that, as far as that goes, we're not going to go any further into what they know and what they don't know.
How many were there?
We believe 2.
Chief, have you looked into the social media accounts of all the different victims? Do you? We understand that one may have had an account linked to her Instagram account. Have you looked into those accounts? Have you?
What have those people shared about the circumstances of that night, what they saw or didn't see?
Well, I'm not going to go into what they shared that night. Obviously, that's part of our investigation. That's part of the information that we're trying to build our complete story with. So at that, as far as that goes, we're not going to go any further into what they know and what they don't know.
How many were there?
We believe 2.
Chief, have you looked into the social media accounts of all the different victims? Do you? We understand that one may have had an account linked to her Instagram account. Have you looked into those accounts? Have you seen any sort of threats made to any of the individuals?
So we are looking at all resources. We got, like I said, the Federal Bureau of Investigation helping us. We got our detectives, our forensic detectives looking into that. We're trying to pull this whole picture. We're looking at everything that we can look at, social media, etc. So to answer your question, yes, we are.
Were the victims all found in one part of the house?
I'm not going to divulge that either. That's part of our investigation. And at this time, I'm going to go ahead and close this off. But if you have any questions for the university, we'll open that up at this point in time.
Who has not had a chance to ask a question? Yes, over here.
Me?
Here and then here.
Oh, okay, thanks. Actually, I had a question for the chief, so I don't know.
Okay, well, you want to pass it?
Okay. What is the university doing to make their students feel safe?
Yeah, great question. At this time, I think I'll turn this over to Blaine, who's been dealing directly with our students and dealing with those that truly still feel unsafe despite some of the assurances and things that we're doing. Blaine?
Yeah, absolutely. Thank you for the question. A question of safety is on everyone's mind right now. We have increased campus safety patrols. Our executive director of campus safety and security, Jake Nichols, is out of the way actually here, and so I'm sure he'd be able to answer some of those questions. We have a campus safety escort where students can call 24 hours a day, 7 days a week to arrange for a security escort to be escorted across campus during the day or night. It doesn't matter at any point in time. We're also providing resources to students to help them navigate through this from an emotional standpoint. We've had drop-in counseling that has been utilized both in our counseling center as well as the student union building. And we're also supporting students, like President Green indicated, that if they want to leave and go home now, they absolutely can. We're going to support them in doing so. Many students have questions about their academics and whatnot, but this is a very dynamic, fluid situation, and we want to make sure we're supporting students and their families to get through this the way that they need to.
Yeah, absolutely. Washington State University is about 8 miles that way. What would you suggest that Wazoo does to make their students feel safe if they're unsafe?
Communication and encouraging students to reach out and use resources. That's a fantastic campus. I talked to their dean of students office yesterday, and they are mobilizing their support resources. All campuses have supports in place. Students just need to make sure they're leaning in and reaching out to it. And many times students don't, but we encourage that. Absolutely.
Hi, this is Heidi Broussard with the Argonaut. This may be a question for Scott Green or Blaine Eccles. So with the decision to cancel classes on Monday, while I understand the university is trying to remain flexible for students, why has class not been canceled for the remainder of the week?
Well, because a number of our students still want to go to class. They gain comfort in being around their other students. They gain comfort from interacting and staying busy with their faculty and attending classes, labs. Some are working on their semester projects. So we've heard from them. At the same time, we want to provide the ability for any student who did not feel comfortable staying around, who did not want who was unable to process that way, that they had that opportunity to go, and we've been helping them as well. All these absences are excused. We've asked our faculty to work with those students who chose to go, so we felt this was the best way, to respond, to give as much flexibility as we could to our students and our faculty to help manage the situation. And frankly, I think they've done a very, very good job. Thank you.
Is the university working with the parents or the families of the victims? Are you in touch with them?
They are. I'll turn that back over to Blaine. I know we both have been in contact with the families, but he's been very close to it. And so, Blaine, you want to take that question?
Absolutely. One of the hardest jobs I have is talking to parents of students who have died. It's the absolute worst part of my job. And so I've reached out and made contact with all the families. We've offered our support, and we're going to stay in constant contact with them. I communicated with them almost every day. We usually give it a little space and time before we reach out, just for the sheer shock of absorbing the loss of a child and what that looks like. But we're going to stay in support of them moving forward for the weeks and months to come, and in whatever capacity they need.
We've talked to a few of them, and they've expressed some frustration with the lack of communication from investigators and from the officials involved on that side of it. Has the university heard that from them? How are you working with them to help kind of close that communication gap?
Sure. I do know that Captain Barrett from the Moscow Police Department is also in constant contact with them. He reaches out to them on a regular basis. From that standpoint, I think it's safe to say everyone, the families most of all, want information, and they want justice. And I can't do anything but honor what their needs are and what they are. Whenever I hear a concern from the family members about what's going on, I definitely make sure I communicate that to the Moscow Police Department. They're very busy. They're working, the men and women of this department are working really hard on their behalf and on our community's behalf. But if I can be a conduit to share information, we're absolutely going to do that.
Has there been any update on the candlelight vigil that is postponed till after the break?
I believe it's November 30th.
November 30th.
November
At what time?
We're looking at 5 or 5:30. We're trying to finalize. Well, let me say.
Yeah.
There was a candlelight vigil that was originally scheduled tonight, but because of the volume of students who have left, we want to make sure we're creating a space where they can participate. We don't want someone driving back during this time to do that. So we have rescheduled to November 30th. We haven't finalized the time. We will definitely be sharing that out to our students in our community and the larger community. We're just finalizing some details. We're going to communicate that with the families as well. It'll be on campus. We haven't figured out the location yet because we're going to be monitoring what the weather looks like. We anticipate a large amount of individuals. That being said, we also have two communities that are just providing beautiful support. There's a candlelight vigil in Boise tonight in honor of our lost students. And there's also a candlelight vigil tonight in Coeur d'Alene. And I say nothing but thank you and for the love and support from those communities that are supporting us. And we've seen that support come across the country and around the world for the University of Idaho and these families. And so it's a beautiful thing.
President Green, could you talk a little bit about the vandal alert that involved the knife and how the university handled it and what you found in that case?
Yeah, so basically we were just responding to the information that we had from the Moscow Police Department at that time. We have an incident response team. We gathered Sunday as we were notified by the Moscow Police Department that there had been a crime committed. At the time, we weren't sure if they were students or not, and we wanted to provide help to the Moscow Police Department, and we think we were able to do that successfully to help them, identify those students and contact their relatives. So, beyond that, it was just trying to understand what the assessment was of the risk to the campus, and we relied on our subject matter experts, as you've heard. They know more than any of us about this, and then based on that, we started making decisions about how to move forward this week.
Yeah, and so what were those decisions around that initial alert? What was the conclusion you had at that point about the level of risk?
Well, of course, your first, on the first vandal alert, it was high risk. We had really no information, and we asked our students to shelter in place, and until we got the all clear, it wasn't an all clear, but a reduced risk where we could where students could start to move around more freely. We had people sheltering in places like the library and the Pittman Center and places around campus, and we didn't want to keep them there all night if we didn't have to. And so as soon as Moscow Police Department determined that it was safe for them to begin moving around but be vigilant, we sent the other vandal alerts.
Yeah, my apologies. I was referring to the earlier vandal alert involving the threatening with the knife that happened in September.
Yeah, you want to respond to that? Thank you, Blaine.
So, vandal alert, we had a group of students walking back to Greek Row from a location off campus. They encountered an individual who was not affiliated with the university. They got into, from my understanding, a verbal altercation, and he ended up flashing a knife at them. It was not a stabbing. It was not a stabbing attack. It was a threat, to the best that we know. We sent out a vandal alert warning the individual.
Until we got the all clear, from campus, and we didn't want to keep them there all night if we didn't have to. And so as soon as Moscow Police Department determined that it was safe for them to begin moving around but be vigilant, we sent the other vandal alerts.
Yeah, my apology. I was referring to the earlier vandal alert involving the threatening with the knife that had happened in September.
Yeah, you want to respond to that? Thank you, Blaine.
So, vandal alert, we had a group of students walking back to Greek Row from a location off campus. They encountered an individual who was not affiliated with the university. They got into, from my understanding, a verbal altercation, and he ended up flashing a knife at them. It was not a stabbing. It was not a stabbing attack. It was a threat, to the best that we know. We sent out a vandal alert warning the individuals of our campus community at that time. I don't have the specific date, but it's out there from that aspect of it. And it's my understanding that individual then later turned himself into law enforcement, and they've addressed what that happens.
So it's not connected in any way to this homicide?
That's a question for law enforcement.
You know who he is?
September 12th. I know about the incident. I don't know the individual because he's not affiliated with the university. So my understanding, he turned himself into law enforcement. So I can't answer the question of whether he's connected with this or not.
So we want to thank you again for coming. That's going to be all the questions we take at this time. We appreciate you coming and spending time with us, and
make ends of this, shall we? Okay. I need to read your comments because this is kind of a weird situation here. So let me go. We also have the parents doing an interview too. A vandals alert. Let me see what that is. Hey, Olive. Vandals alert. University of Idaho. It's their emergency notification system. It doesn't say why it's called vandal alert, but that is what it is. Emergency messages. What? Whoa. Whoa, 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 whoa. Bombshell. Hold on. This is Fox News. What the fuck? I see Nancy Grace's face. That's why I said bombshell today. Here. Let's check this out. University of Idaho murders. Blood seen oozing from house. What? Did you guys hear this? I am waiting to see if you guys heard this. What in the hell? Sunday night, you guys, it happened. That press conference left me with more questions than answers. Let's see. Yeah, the devil is dancing tonight. Blood oozing from the house?
The devil is dancing tonight.
See what Nancy has to say about this. Hey, onesies. One second. Here we go.
New details this morning in that horrific murder of the 4 University of Idaho students. Officials now saying the attack at their off-campus house was targeted with a, quote, edged weapon, such as a knife. Police are not releasing any more details than that, but they say there is no concern for public safety, despite them having no suspects in custody. Fox Nation host Nancy Grace joins us now. Good morning to you, Nancy.
Good morning. I appreciate the authorities are saying no one is at risk. There's no risk to the community, but students are leaving in droves after a quadruple murder at an off-campus home, 6-bedroom, 3-bath. And no one has been arrested yet, not even a person of interest named. Now, local police there in Moscow, Idaho, have brought in the state police.
Okay, so 6 bedrooms. So were there like two people in a bedroom then? Or one? They each have their own rooms? That hasn't been clear. And did these couples live there? Was it like all girls, all guys? What was the scenario? They didn't really say. Let's continue listening to Nancy. She always has the tea.
Not to suggest that they're in any way inept. It's just that the state police have many more resources to help. Interesting, they're saying a serrated edge was the weapon. That leads us to believe it was a knife. Very interesting how 4 students can be overcome by one person with a knife, not a gun. There is speculation there's more than one defendant. Sounds unlikely to me. The male victim, Ethan, was found on the 2nd floor. No suggestion as to where the women were found. Was he killed first and then the others killed after? Very curious as to whether they were asleep at the time.
Any chance there could be suicide? Maybe stab 3 of them and then stab themselves?
What?
I find that very hard to believe. If you look at a photo taken just a few hours before this quadruple murder, which I might add, it's a painstaking process to process that scene. They're looking for fingerprints, fiber, blood of the perpetrator. I don't see a murder-suicide here. They were pictured a couple of hours before, happy and healthy, and I just found out a late-night Twitch video reveals 2 of them out getting snacks at a food truck just a couple of hours before all 4 murdered. All 4 from rural areas. 2 of them grew up together, lifelong friends, no animosities. But still, fear is hanging over the community because of no arrest.
I bet you're right. I bet it was while they were sleeping. Yeah, because it would be hard to do that to 4 people.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right.
Casey Anthony, the specials revealing that.
Okay, I don't want to hear Nancy on that right now. So here it says blood was seen seeping from the house where 4 University of Idaho students were brutally murdered over the weekend. Fox News Digital obtained. Oh shit, we have photos. Fox News Digital. Fox News Digital is different than the regular Fox News. Have you guys noticed that? Fox News Digital is the ones that followed the laundries out to the Carlton Reserve, and they were like filming them as it was happening. You guys hear that? You hear Eagle 8? Crazy. Wait, JB, you got to stand down on that one.
JB, it's we have to stand down.
So Fox News Digital got the photos of the crime scene that showed blood dripping from the 1st floor bedroom down an exterior wall at the back of the house. An officer said it was a very bloody scene inside. This is like when they say a crime of passion, usually stabbings are like personal because you're using your hands and you're like feeling that, you know what I'm saying? Like you have to keep doing it. It's usually not a stranger. They usually say it's someone they know. But then when you look at the Ted Bundy situation, he bludgeoned his victims to death as well. But back in September, campus security sent out a vandal alert with the subject line threat with knife. Guys, look at that. Now that Derek Shook took that picture, and I am shook. I am shook. I mean, for that to happen, oof. Oof. This is someone who had a lot of anger and a lot of rage. And where do we see things like that? Serial killers usually are the horrific scenes. What's a K-bar knife? Oh my God. Baya. I'm always going to call you Baya. I hope that's okay. Bayou. Manson vibes, W. I don't know even what to think of this because it says it's coming from a first floor bedroom down an exterior wall. I mean, this is seeping from the inside. So back in September, the Moscow Police Department received a report that a group of students was walking between the steam plant parking lot number 14, and the student recreation area on Paradise Path and were threatened by a person with a knife. A concerned parent of a University of Idaho student shared the notification with Fox News Digital. Here it is. The parent shared it. September 12th, 8:05. It says no individual was harmed in this incident, but campus community members are advised to be cautious. The suspect is described as a white male, 18 to 22, wearing all black clothes and a black baseball cap. The male was on a nondescript mountain bike, had a blue backpack, and was last seen heading east on Paradise Path. The suspect has not been identified and is still at large. Keep all doors locked and use caution if you have to go outside. The hell? But there's no threat. Here's a zoomed out picture. Holy shit, you guys. This is really bad. And they're saying it's isolated and targeted. I feel like it's got to be domestic. Somebody who just broke up with someone and the other two like got in the way. Thank you for subscribing, Eugene. And Haley V, thank you for your super chat. You weren't too late. You didn't miss much. I mean, that's just, coming from inside and seeping through the floor. Like that seeped through the floor over to the wall. And then dripped outside. That's dripping down the foundation. So we're going to get to the food truck incident. So they do not have a murder weapon. No imminent threat to the community. So one of the roomies called and said there was an unresponsive person. It says here there are possible motives are crime of passion or a burglary gone wrong. These girls, they are typical Instagram. Wow, this is insane. Okay. That's what the mayor told Fox News Digital. That those were the two motives. All right, let's get to the new video. We'll do that first. And Mike, I forgot to answer you about laundries. Yes. That's in my updates tomorrow. All right, so here's the Twitch video. It says 2 of the 4 victims, Madison and Kaylee, were seen in video footage from a food truck before they were killed. And I think this was said to be at about 1:45 a.m. But if this was that bloody and you called 911, there's no way that you would just say like, oh, they're unconscious. you would be like screaming, freaking out. So I'm wondering if we could hear the 911 call, which we won't, obviously, because it's an active investigation. But did they walk through having someone do CPR? Did they, ask them, do they have a pulse? So that would tell me that they would be, having to touch the body and be close to the body. And I don't know. It's kind of bizarre. You would think they'd be like hysterical. Can you hear me now? What the heck? You can't hear me right now. Can you guys hear me now? Now you can hear me? Okay, but you can't hear me when I go to the TV? Oh, that was weird. Sorry about that. I don't know. When I switched scenes, it cut off my audio then. Sorry. No, what I was saying is if the roommate called 911, did they ask him to do CPR and did they get close to the body? Did you guys hear me say that? I don't know now when I cut out. I hate when that shit happens. The stream's been wonky. I wonder why. I'm sorry, guys. All right. Well, I was just showing these photos and I was trying to get context of the video. But check this out. This is a upstairs bedroom light was on Monday night, and Fox News Digital got this picture. And then this says Saturdays are for the girls. And then there's another picture inside the kitchen. And that's like Solo cups. And then you can see like their coffee maker and like a little plant in the window. Yeah, it was when I switched over to play the video. I don't know why I lost my mic. All right, there's the kitchen. What's on there? That's not blood, is it? The red? Or is that something in the kitchen? Oh, it's like tape. Oh, that's creepy. Damn, Fox News Digital gets they get down in there, don't they? All right, let's watch the video. I was just trying to figure out why there's 4 squares. And whose Twitch whose Twitch stream this is. Oh my God, I can't with this ad.
It's fun to watch other people be miserable. Yeah. Have a good night. Hello.
Hi.
Welcome back.
Thanks. I think I would like the carbonara.
Okay.
But if I have like a free grub truck on my app.
Oh, yep. So what you want to do is we'll actually do this. There you go.
Thank you.
Absolutely.
How many more do you need?
Okay, they definitely do not seem intoxicated. That's them, right? I hate when these videos do this shit.
That's the second one? Awesome.
Dawn's mom. Oh, wait. Yeah, one more.
Maybe I didn't have a free one.
It's right here.
And then what was the mac of the
Don't forget to remove the spoon.
The carbonara.
The carbonara mac of the week.
Here, I'll grab it for you.
Excellent. And then click see rewards.
Enjoy.
And it looks like you do not quite have enough points yet.
Oh, that's okay. That's okay.
$10 for you.
Perfect.
I do have a big burrito pork here for you.
Cool. Thank you.
4078. Thank you very much. Where'd the pen go, guys? Where's my pen? How are you guys doing?
How are you?
I'm doing fantastic. Seem to have lost my pen, but that's fine. What can I get for you?
Can I get
just 2 John's Roms?
mac and cheese, please?
Definitely. I get
thank you.
and pork tacos. Oh yeah. How many pork tacos would you like? Just come with one. It's one, but they're like 6 to 7 ounce tacos. They're not like small little street tacos. I normally eat 2, 3 is a lot for me.
So one would be fine if I was getting pasta or
Yeah.
mac and cheese too.
Yeah, that's gonna be almost 2 pounds of food.
I better get 2.
Okay, you got it.
I got her.
2 pork tacos? Done. 1 5 cheese, 1 basil pesto, 2 pork tacos, $24.50 for you.
Sweet, thank you.
2 Don's Moms.
I'll eat your mom. $79.
Thank you.
Thank you.
I'm gonna do this. Hold on. If we decide, since we listed.
Oh, people have fallen. People have fallen over reduced reuse. Sorry, I'm talking to Twitch stream. Oh, you're so good. Absolutely, thank you. How are you doing?
Pretty good. How about yourself?
I'm doing extremely well. What sounds good?
Can I get a big burrito?
Yeah.
Please.
For the big burrito, would you like pork or chicken?
Chicken.
Got it.
It has now been more.
Of two University of Idaho students hours before they were brutally murdered. Kaylee Gonzalez in the white hoodie and her friend Madison Mogan were at a popular food truck near the campus.
I would like the
Look, one man appears to be watching them. The time, 1:30 a.m. After ordering, Maddie sees a friend and embraces him. When their food comes, Kaylee takes a short video to post on social media, and they walk off together. Look, the man gestures towards them and then heads in the same direction. It's believed police know who he is. Kaylee's sister Olivia watched the video.
Kaylee was aware of her surroundings, maybe a little overly aware, which is also why all of this is so confusing to us, because Kaylee's not stupid. She's a smart girl. She's a strong girl. She's a mean girl. She's a fighter.
The night began at around 10:30 p.m. when the friends took an Uber to a downtown bar called the Corner Club. It was a party atmosphere, with Kaylee and Madison described as being in good spirits. They left a little after 1 a.m., and that's when they stopped by the food truck. 1:56 a.m., the girls take an Uber home.
Can you
They
guys
were
hear
stabbed
me?
to death between 3 a.m. and 4 a.m. that morning, along with their friends Ethan Chapin and Xana Kernodle.
Very interesting how 4 students can be overcome by one person with a knife, not a gun.
One possibility being explored is that the students were all sleeping when they were slain.
Okay, so her sister, like, she said she's a mean girl, she's a fighter, she's not going to take shit. Okay, good, you can hear me. Yay, yay, yay. Whoop, whoop.
Yeah, they're loud and beefy.
I'm loud and beefy now. I took that as, like, I don't take shit kind of girl.
Examiner described the crime scene inside the 6-bedroom house as horrifying.
It was very, very traumatic.
Have you seen anything like that before?
No.
Police have not identified any suspects and are appealing for calm today as frightened students flee the campus. We hear you and we understand your fears, police said in a statement. We do not believe there is an ongoing threat. Investigators say the murders were targeted. It's being called a possible crime of passion.
You know what? Even if this is what throws me, and this is where I would stand as a parent. They're like, oh, there's no threat to the public. Like, you're fine. Keep your kids here. Keep your kids in school. Obviously, there's some lunatic, whether it was targeted or not. If they're capable of doing this, what are they capable of doing to save their own ass? No thanks. I don't want to find out. I don't want to find out. That's insane.
Another theory is that it's a burglary gone wrong. They have ruled out murder-suicide. Kaylee and Madison were inseparable, lifelong friends. They grew up together, close as sisters. In a statement, Kaylee's family is speaking directly to the killer. We will find you. We will never stop. The pain you caused has fueled our hatred and sealed your fate. Ethan Chapin's parents are also speaking out.
There's not drugs involved. There's not some weird love triangle. We will not let this sink us or sink our kids, because if anything...
Who's the guy right here? Who's that? Is that... I know that's one of the girls, but who's the guy? I agree with you guys. Hoodie guy is weird. We're going to look at hoodie guy again.
Because if anything, they have to go on and shine Ethan's
How's that the dad? This is the dad. That's Ethan? Why does he look so old right there?
light on their own.
The day of the murders, the doomed friends posed for this photo along with 2 other students. Kaylee posted one.
Oh, there he is. Okay, so this is Ethan. And he's only 21? Wow, he looks older. Okay. No, I didn't mean the bald guy. The bald guy is Ethan's dad, yeah. Well, everybody's saying it is Krista.
Lucky girl to be surrounded by these people every day.
A number of classes have been canceled indefinitely. One faculty member tweeting that he cannot in good conscience teach again until the suspect is in custody.
So you have a teacher saying, there's no way that I can teach again. And then you have the campus saying, I'll keep your kids in school. All right, here, let's watch the hoodie dude. And I just muted it, so. I'm going to slow her down. Now that we know who's who. He just now puts his hood up. He must have noticed that they were streaming. I wonder if he did that, you guys, when they were ordering their food. Didn't that guy go, oh, sorry, I'm just talking to a Twitch stream. Do you think that maybe he heard that? Heard them say they were on Twitch? And that's when he put his hood up? Because he was exposed before that. Behind them watching. Where were these 3 or these people before? At a different party? He was just with the one girl in the gray. But is he mad at her? He was just with her, though. Now the hood's going up. But now he drops back, but see, she's still ordering. Okay, now she walks away. See, now he's following. But wait a second. Let's go back because it looked like they were together, but here, let me slow it down even more. Let's see if we can see anything. Oh my God. Can we ever talk about a true crime case without someone saying we're victim blaming? If we're stating a fact, it doesn't mean anybody's victim blaming. If they're intoxicated, they're intoxicated. Who cares? They didn't ask to be bludgeoned to death, even if they were intoxicated. That's common sense, right? Okay, here we go. No, I have not seen that part. But here they come walking. I mean, he's literally right up in her space. I mean, like right behind her. Fuck Gray. I have it with audio too. I already played it. Go to Gray's channel.
You're what the French call les incompetents.
So he had his hat on backwards. Now he's putting it on. Oh my God, Kayla, you're going to get blocked if you say it again. You say Gray again and you lose a testicle.
If you say Ferris Bueller, you lose a testicle.
For God's sakes. I don't care if you mention people, but not Gray Hughes, for Christ's sake. And don't tell me to go to his channel. All right. I just wanted to see who was who. And this video showed me who's who. Yeah, I can't stand him either. He's blocked on my channel for a reason. So don't come over here and say, go to Gray's.
God almighty.
What does FGHI mean? It really is. Opa, you're right. It's common sense. Obviously, Kayla was just wanting to be an ass. Peace out, Kayla. Olive Juice, you're going to be my sound bite generator. You always like tell me the right ones to play. All right, let's go back to the one with the audio. Now that I know what the hell I was looking at. Here we go. Watch. J is for Justice has this video with audio. Oh my God! Everyone go there! She has it with audio! Hurry! You don't want to miss it! Okay, I'm going to zoom in on the freaking girls and see if I can make ends of this. I know it's not the Hughes channel, but it's the J is for Justice channel. Heather. Olive? La 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 means FDO.
In a world of fat.
Have a good night. Hello.
Hi.
Welcome back.
Thanks. I think I would like the
Okay.
Creeper guy in the top. You can see where he's dropped back.
Oh, yep. So what you want to do is
Now pay attention for when he says I'm on Twitter or Twitch.
There you go.
Thank you.
Absolutely.
How many more do you need? That's the second one? Awesome.
Dawn's mom. Oh, wait. Yeah, one more.
Is he on his phone? Oh no, he's behind that guy on his phone.
And then what was the Mac?
Don't forget to remove the spoon.
The carbonara Mac of the week.
Here, I'll grab it for you.
Excellent. And then click see rewards.
Enjoy.
And it looks like you do not quite have enough points yet.
Oh, that's okay. That's okay.
$10 for you.
Perfect.
I do have a big burrito pork here for you.
Cool. Thank you.
47. Thank you very much.
Okay, there she goes. Now he's gonna.
Pen go, guys. Where's my pen? How are you guys doing?
How are you?
I'm doing fantastic. Seem to have lost my pen, but that's fine. What can I get for you?
Can I get
just 2 Don Tom's?
mac and cheese, please?
Definitely. Can I get?
God, he's really close to her.
Pork tacos.
Oh yeah. How many pork tacos would you like?
Just come with one.
Like, how would you
It's
not
one, but
notice
they're
if
like
you
6 to
didn't?
7 ounce tacos.
Hang on.
They're not like small little street tacos. I normally eat 2.
God, we get to hear all about street tacos. Thank God I had audio for that shit. Damn, what would I have done without the audio? Okay, so how is that guy all up in her space and she's not bothered by that? Unless she's, tipsy or just, I don't know. I mean, I'd be like, dude, who are you? And why are you with a hood on in my space? But she also doesn't look at him. Like, she doesn't even acknowledge him at all. He's acting like a tag along and she's blowing him off. Be the change. There are 2 guys and they look similar. Yeah, but kids are always looking at their phones. Let's see if she looks at him. Let's watch again. Gray has it with audio. I'd rather watch it on YouTube in slow-mo than have audio. The audio does fucking nothing for me, to be honest. What do we need audio for? You know what? Why is this all full screen? It's the last time I listened to somebody like that. We don't need audio to watch this, for crying out cats. I mean, really. What happened to my fucking thing? Where's my search on here? See, now this person really effed me up. All right. I want to watch the parents. I want to see what the parents are saying. Then we'll go back to this video. Let me get it pulled up. Because I know Gray has it with audio. But we're going to watch this first.
Can you first just tell me how you guys are doing?
That's a tough question.
That is a tough question.
It's not something you ever expect to hear, ever. Like the call we took from our kids who were there, and you just expect to outlive your kids. Honestly, I don't know. We're just trying to process it. It's not a call that you think that you're going to have to speak with the funeral home directors and the FBI and have it hit national news. I mean, we're more concerned, Ethan was a triplet, and that's a big thing. There's a couple of things. Ethan was a triplet, and that's the most important thing for us because we have these other 2 kids that are very impacted by this, and they need to be lifted up and cared for. And I think the other thing that's important to us is the reason why we've agreed to do this is, number 1, you're local. And number 2, it's important for us to get Ethan's story out. We don't really want anybody else representing him. And it's hard to have people speaking on his behalf. So we think it's best for us to do this.
And you did say, of course, that he was a triplet, and looking through the pictures he sent, like you said, they seem to be always together. I mean, did they all go to high school and then college together also?
Elementary, high school, everything, college, they all went to the same university. Yeah, I mean, everything. We travel, we play, we hike, everything we do is all of us together. I mean, we're a pretty tight family.
Did you say that they were the ones that called you about this happening?
Yeah.
Yes.
And then are you guys all back together now?
We are.
Yeah, we're in our home in northern Idaho, our summer home.
we're going to be here for a couple days just to regroup a little.
Yeah.
And can you just tell me a little bit about Ethan? I think I was told he was very athletic. I think he played basketball and tennis or basketball. Just tell me a little about his interests. What did Ethan like to do?
Anything. You name it, he played it, literally. I think we just watched a thing from the university, spike ball champion, volleyball champion. I mean, right? I mean, he just literally would play and do anything. He played club soccer for years. We traveled, all of our kids are athletic, and we traveled every weekend, and he was involved in anything. He just literally, I don't know.
He just loved to play everything.
He did. He loved sports. I mean, our love language with him was sports. Like, I literally watched, I follow like NFL football so that I can literally have a conversation with Ethan, because I could, send him a text message, and, that was I don't know, just everything. I don't know, that and country music. I mean, yeah. He's funny. He literally, we were trying to have a conversation really quickly about our favorite memory. We can't come up with one. I mean, he literally lit up every room, everybody. He was friend to all. He was an incredible human. I mean, one of a kind, popular. I mean, not that matters, but I don't know. I think we believe that if you literally asked anybody in his life, they would.
Did she say popular? Not that matters.
The same exact thing. I mean, I just got an email from his counselor at college, and he just said, I loved that kid the minute I met him. He literally walked in my office last week, and it was just simply to say hi. He had a huge smile. The whole, the feeling inside of the office changed just because he walked in. Mm-hmm. He always had something funny to say. That's been something we've talked a lot about. I mean, he was definitely the comedian of the three kids. He kept us all. I mean, we have the funniest videos of him.
He's the kind of kid that everybody wanted to be around. He was just a good kid.
He's a good kid. Kind to all.
Didn't deserve what happened.
No.
And wasn't he going to school to study? It was something to do with sports, wasn't it?
Sports management, I think. I don't know the technical title of it. But yeah, I mean, we told him he should go be a teacher and a coach. I mean, he was incredible the way he worked with kids, and he refereed youth basketball on the weekends in Mount Vernon. I don't know. He touched a lot of people. I mean, it's the amount of support that we've seen so far has been incredible. Right? Yeah. Our neighbors, everybody. It's incredible. I mean, we have messages from people that just are like, I knew him and he was incredible. Our daughter knew him, and all she talked about was how great he was. I mean, it's a huge loss. We were at Parents Weekend last weekend with them, and Jim and I left that weekend. And as we pulled out of Moscow, we literally were like, we've done it. We've literally done it as parents. We've created 3 incredible humans that will go on and have something great to offer to this world. Honestly, all 3 of them. We literally had a conversation that we will no longer have to worry about these kids because we did it.
What best way, people can support you guys right now?
It's an interesting situation because in all of your hardships in life, whatever you're going through, there's always an outcome, you get through it, right? Like, I don't know, whatever it is. This is something you wake up and you realize it's never going to go away. And it's a very different 2 a.m. is a dark hour. I can tell you that. We're all.
And I guess just during this time, like I said, you guys seem very tight knit. Are you just what's going forward look like for you? I know that's a hard question right now. I know it seems like you guys are really there supporting each other through this.
I think one of the first things that when we got Maisie and Hunter, one of the first things, that came to me is that our life has literally taken a left turn. And I don't know how that's going to affect us, but we will not let this sink us or sink our kids.
We have to stand
because
down.
If anything, they have to go on and shine Ethan's bright light on their own.
Mm-hmm. I think that's the questions I have right now, unless there's anything else you guys wanted to add.
Kids, do you want us? Our kids are here watching. Do you guys have anything you want to add? Hunter, Maisie? He was their number one, and that's going to be a hard loss for both of our kids, both Maisie and Hunter. I mean, he was kind of each of their number one. So it's going to be hard just for the three of them without him now that they're two. You know, we've gone from 3 to 2, and it's going to be hard for the two kids to figure out how to live life when you've spent 20 years as 3, you know, and now they have to figure out how to be 2 and carry, you know, I don't know. It's terrible. It's important for us. I mean, the reason we've agreed to do this is there's some misinformation out there, and that's been hard for us. And that's why we, as a family, talked about it and agreed to do this, because the things that are being said are 100% not true. There's not drugs involved. There's not some weird love triangle. Ethan was stayed the night at his girlfriend's house, who was one of 5 girls who lived in the home. And it's just important that people let the criminal part of it try to work itself out, and that these kids, all of the kids were just really good, great kids.
I agree, HJ.
So, I mean, the light of the school, I mean, everybody knew them.
One of them, I believe, was his girlfriend was also killed. Is that correct?
Yes, Xana. Yeah,
She
they
in
were in the
shock.
same room.
And I think that's all the questions I have. But I really do appreciate you guys sharing more about Ethan so we can understand more about him and share more about him with, you know, Western Washington and the community here.
Thank you.
Thank you so much.
I mean, they could just be in shock. I mean, I don't know. Dad doesn't say too much. She does most of the talking. Can't imagine like what that would be like. I mean, to find out something that horrible. You know, it's one thing for like a car accident, you know, something like that. It's still hard to grasp. But something stabbing to where there's blood like dripping through the wall. Okay, so there's 5 girls and 1 guy. He didn't live there. So who lived there? 5 girls and another guy? Like, they're definitely not giving us information like that. I still don't understand. So we have a video of the prosecutor in this county. Five girls, and he was staying at the night with his girlfriend. Yeah, who's exactly? Does fat guy in a little coat, no hoodie boy's name? Right, Eugene. Okay, so 5 girls lived there. There was 6 bedrooms, but there was 5 girls, and then he was just staying the night and he got killed. So my question would be, did he stay the night there often? Or was this like a one-time deal? All right, here's the lead prosecutor in this case on Today's Show.
And we're happy to be joined this morning by Latah County Prosecutor Bill Thompson. Mr. Thompson, good morning to you.
Good morning.
Police there have called this a targeted, isolated attack. Are investigators looking for a particular suspect or suspects this morning?
At this point, the investigators are looking at all possibilities. They don't have a specific suspect. They're continuing to work on that.
Do you believe that whomever did this is still at large?
Yes, we have no one in custody, and the police have been unable to identify who's responsible for these homicides.
Is it possible there's more than one suspect?
It certainly is possible. That's the purpose of the investigation. That's why we're really hoping for any information from the public that can help the investigators recreate everyone's activities Saturday night and early Sunday morning, and hopefully give them the leads, the information to identify who did this.
There's so many things about this case that are so hard to put together. Veteran police officers who arrived at the scene said it was one of the most horrific and gruesome scenes that they had ever seen. Yet somehow there were two roommates who were in the house who apparently didn't hear anything. What are the red flags you have there, and are those roommates considered persons of interest?
Well, anybody who might have knowledge is considered persons of interest at this point. As far as suspects, I don't believe so. The investigators continue to work hard trying to interview everyone who might have any information and hopefully figure out and identify what occurred and why and who's responsible.
As we understand the timeline, and we recognize that this is an investigation very much ongoing, the four came home, early in the morning, Sunday morning, let's say 1:45, 2 o'clock in the morning, something like that. The 911 call didn't come until midday the next day. Does that raise any red flags for you? How do you explain that?
I think the investigators are trying to ascertain why there was a delay and what actually occurred, what was heard. That's a question that's still out there, and I know they're working on that. We're trying to assist them as much as possible with obtaining search warrants for data and cell records and social media and anything that might help.
Do you know who called 911? Can you reveal who reported this?
I can't reveal who made the 911 call. The police do know who made the 911 call, though.
Obviously, we don't know anything about motive, but the mayor did initially refer to this crime as a crime of passion. Why did he say that?
I can't speak for Mayor Betke. To my knowledge, there is nothing to indicate that this has been determined to be a crime of passion. We know it's just a horrible crime, and 4 young lives have been lost.
And finally, initially, investigators and the police had said the community has nothing to worry about. Now they've sort of said, well, of course we should be vigilant because there is a suspect or suspects still at large. What is your message to that community this morning?
Well, I think the fact of the matter is that whoever is responsible for these murders is still at large. The investigators do not know who that person is. From what they've told my office, they believe that this was what they call a targeted attack and not just a random act of violence.
But targeted how? What was the reason for the targeting? Dude, this is crazy.
I think they tried to communicate that, but obviously that communication didn't work very well. It's unfortunate for any confusion in the community. People just need to be vigilant and help us however they can. We hope that we can identify who's responsible and get them off the streets as soon as we can.
We're sure your officers and prosecutors are working hard there. Thank you so much, Latah County Prosecuting Attorney.
Wait, what? What did I miss? Well, they did say it's not random, that it is not isolated, that it was a targeted attack on these kids. This is really, really crazy. So Ethan and the one girl were in the same room. And I agree. I think that they had money. Definitely probably had a Ring doorbell.
Murders is still at large. The investigators do not know who that person is. From what they've told my office, they believe that this was what they call a targeted attack and not just a random act of violence. And I think they tried to communicate that, but obviously that communication didn't work very well. It's unfortunate for any...
What is he talking about? They communicated it and it didn't work very well. So are they saying, oh, people shouldn't be worried because they were targeted? Who's to say there's not other targets? Who's to say there aren't other targets? Oh, let's play the food truck again. I've got another video that I can slow down. I don't have to deal with ads. Because I'm seeing you guys are saying a lot of things like you think they talked or whatever, but it certainly to me seems like this is really glitchy too. Fuck. Sorry, excuse my language. I can't believe how much he looks like Santa Claus. See, this is interesting here to see that layout of their house too. Wait a minute, is that a screen on the porch? What was Sugar Gold's question? Was he the Uber? Are we sure they took an Uber though? Let's see what else they show. So there's their front door. But see, look at the house. I wonder if that house, that little gray one that's just peeked over the driveway, I wonder if they have a Ring doorbell as well. I would imagine everybody pretty much has cameras, especially when there's like a college. Yeah, Ubers are not safe. That is for damn sure. Let me see. They've got more footage of the house here. This is chilling. Yeah, like what did he walk up there with them for, though? It's just weird because if they were sleeping, this person would have had to wait until they, went to sleep. Yeah, he never did get food. So the two blonde girls were each individually in their rooms, and then the brunette was with the Ethan kid, probably in hers. Okay, so someone was confused. There are two guys with hats. Okay, let's zoom in here a little bit. So there's a guy right now that's looking down on his phone. He's got a black hat on with writing on it. Hoodie dude is behind him, looking their way. So let's go back a little bit. See, his head follows. Let's see. He doesn't move until that girl gets her change or her ticket or whatever she's getting. So this is not Ethan then with the long hair. Big boy and long hair dude in the sweater are just randos, like friends. Cool, Tracy. Sweet. Thanks for letting everybody know. That's so kind of you. So kind. I love how kind people are in chat. There's a lot of different edits of this video out there, believe it or not. And this one's like pretty good zoomed in. This is from, oh shit. This is from CNN. I guess mods, next time people do that, just time them out and tell them why. And then block them if they keep doing it, because it's just annoying and it's distracting to me. Okay, here we go.
Make way for the first ever Chevy Silverado CR2. With multi-matic shocks, rugged 33-inch tires, and front and rear electronic locking differentials.
Oh my gosh, they're going to make us watch 30 seconds of this shit. Thanks, Shell. Thanks, Shell, for putting a bunch of stuff in Slack, too.
If you're going to work remote, work remote. Find new workspaces.
Oh my goodness. These ads online are getting out of control.
I know there are a lot of unanswered questions, too, when it comes to the timeline. So this new video has surfaced just after 1 a.m., 2 of the victims at a food truck. We learned from authorities that they were reportedly murdered overnight, that when officials arrived at the house, that was because of a 911 call at 11:58 a.m. for an unconscious person. They got there, the door was opened, and there didn't appear to be damage inside. All of those details raising more questions. Are you getting any answers as to that timeline, as to other people who were in the house?
We're not right now. We know that the other 2 people in the house were the other 2 roommates who lived in that residence with them. We're not really getting any more answers at this time. Obviously, we're trying to respect the traumatic events that have happened to those 2 living roommates, and we assume the police are investigating it to its full conclusion.
I waited for that ad for that. Are you kidding me? I knew I hated CNN. I knew I hated them. So it says here, Jim Chapin, the father of Ethan, issued a statement Wednesday calling on police to release further information about the killings. He says there is a lack of information from the University of Idaho and local police, which only fuels false rumors and innuendo in the press and social media. The silence further compounds our family's agony after our son's murder. They say, I urge officials to speak the truth, share what they know, find the assailant, and protect the greater community. Why don't they get a lawyer then? Look at these guys' mustaches. This dude's got like porn stash. And then there's a car here with no plates. Whose car is that? It's weird. Okay, so Ethan and Kernoodle were at a party on Saturday night, and then the other two were at a bar, and they all returned home around 1:45. There were other people home at that time, but we're not just focusing on them. We're focusing on everybody that may be coming and going from that residence. What do you mean? She bought a Range Rover. Her parents bought her a Range Rover? It says clearly right here that they're focusing on everybody that may be coming and going from that residence. I know everybody has those mustaches. I know. I kind of like them. I'm not going to lie. I kind of like them. How does she afford a Range Rover at 20 years old? That's my question. How does worked where? Worked where? My daughter works and she's going for her psych degree and she works full time. And she can't afford a fucking Range Rover. She can barely afford what she has. So who bought the car? Her parents? Or... Okay, parents. Oh, shit, Rose. Oh, shit, Rose. Devotee. It was one of the first news interviews with their boss. She works at a Greek restaurant and she can buy a Range Rover. There's more to this story. Wait a minute. No. Nope. Monthly payments, Annabelle. Do you know how much a Range Rover is? I understand that, Christina, but I just said who bought the car. There is no way on God's green earth that this girl works at a Greek restaurant waiting tables and can afford a Range Rover. There's just no fucking way. Now, my question would be to the parents, like, did you know she bought it? I don't care if it's 2016 or not. Oh my God. Okay, even used, yo. For a girl her age? I don't know. I have a daughter her age and my daughter could not afford this. So I'm just wondering. No, it wasn't a 90s. Everything's expensive right now, especially used vehicles. I think used vehicles are at an all-time high right now. So isn't it interesting? Wait. Let's think about this for a second. Isn't it interesting, unless I'm wrong here, Okay, so I'm looking at a used 2016 Land Rover, $27,000 car. And that would be a very high payment, unless they didn't have to pay any other bills. I don't know, man. It's just a lot. That's a lot. But isn't it interesting? And correct me if I'm wrong, which I'm sure you will, you guys. I know some of you in this chat just love to just pop up and correct me if I'm wrong, but isn't it interesting that Ethan's parents are the ones that are so outspoken? Like, tell the truth, telling authorities, tell the truth. Like, their son ain't got nothing to hide, but do these girls. Yeah, the Morphew girls also didn't work, and it was clear who bought their shit. Oh, thank you, Baya. It just seems to me like they're the ones saying, come on, tell the truth. Release it to the public. But are these girls' parents saying, hey, be more transparent, release everything you know about our daughters, or no? I think it's interesting that the male of the group is the only family that's really vocal, and the other ones aren't being vocal like that. Welcome to Roberta, Christina. I mean, OnlyFans is a very, 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 very popular thing right now.
Roberta.
And girls can bank on OnlyFans. Let's face it. And these girls are like your picture perfect Instagram girls. Maybe not so much the brunette, the two blondes though. The two blondes have like the total Instagram / OnlyFans look, the way they pose with their legs intertwined, kind of like, alluding to the fact that there's a little bit more here. You know what I'm saying? I mean, come on.
Roberta.
Look at you, Flo. You know what I'm saying? Are you picking up what I'm laying down?
La, la, la,
Okay.
la, la.
Ethan and his friend just look kind of like they have a different look. The two blondes, yeah, like the one with the one on her shoulders. Who knows? Her it's bleached. Where did you hear that, Alicia? Are you catching what I'm pitching? I don't know, man. This is just wild. But I do think it's very interesting that Ethan's parents are like, come on, release more. Let's get rid of the rumor mill. And God knows, man. I mean, with all the things, even with Snapchat, right? Like on Snapchat now, you can, you have to go into ghost mode in order for people to not see your location. So how do we know there wasn't someone who saw where they were on Snapchat? because it like narrows down right to your exact spot. Probably. I haven't seen any other interviews, but let's see what else we've got. Here's Jackie Fisher, owner of the Mad Greek restaurant. Fox News Digital is all over it. All right. Let's go back to our video player. I haven't seen this. Is this where the Greek lady says, oh, they made a killing? Hold on.
They were wonderful workers. What I can say right now is that we're just all deeply saddened by the loss of both Maddie and Xana. They were wonderful workers. They've been here for a couple years with me. All of the employees are just shook right now, I think, as well as the rest of the Moscow community. Yes, and Maddie was doing some marketing stuff for me as well, running our Instagram page.
Right.
So
We
that
saw
was
that.
kind of her passion there, was marketing.
You know, I hate to judge people, but I hate when I see smirks. When people have just been brutally murdered, like, this just bothers me. There's like something weird because we are shook by the brutality of even hearing about it. How does she even, like, how does her mouth even like raise upwards? You know, when you're sad, when something's really devastating, like, you definitely, like, I feel like your mouth is just downwards because you're sad. Like, it's just human nature. I don't know. Let's watch it again.
What I can say right now is that we're just all deeply saddened by the loss of both Maddie and Xana. They were wonderful workers. They've been here for a couple years with me. All of the employees are just shook right now, I think, as well as the rest of the Moscow community. Yes, and Maddie was doing some marketing stuff for me as well, running our Instagram page.
Right.
So
We
that
saw
was
that.
kind of her passion there, was marketing.
Yeah, why does it? I think it was established in Alaska. What's the name of it? The Mad Greek? They probably have another location. Oh, we have Dr. Bodden. Bodden says the blood can identify the suspect. Let's listen.
Thank you very much for joining us. Just troubling every aspect of this story, and parents are rightly just terrified. The fact that this person is clearly still on the loose, no suspect, and there's a lot of details to take in. What strikes you right now about this story?
Well, the very fact that's been mentioned that the other two persons in the house were may have been unaware of what was going on, which may mean that perhaps the deaths didn't all occur at the same time, but whoever did it could have been laying in wait. And one of the things that can help determine that is the times of death. And the medical examiner at the scene, using rigor mortis, the stiffness of the body, lividity, the settling of blood, the temperature of the body, may be able to tell whether or not the four victims were killed at the same time or at different times. The digestion, the contents of the stomach can also tell how long after the last meal each of them died. And perhaps the death may occur when the first couple comes in laying in wait, and the second couple, to see whether or not anybody was bound or gagged during the time. And of course, we'll tell whether they were.
That's what I was wondering too. Were they tied up? This is crazy.
Sexual attack, whether there was a struggle. One of the things that's of interest is when there's this many stab wounds, and there's a lot of blood. Blood is very slippery, and sometimes the perpetrator is cut by the slippage of the knife, and some of the blood at the scene can belong to the perpetrator, and DNA will be able to evaluate that.
Yeah, Doctor, parents, as we said at the top of this, in Dan Springer's fine report, are very...
Shell, we've pretty much covered everything that's out there.
Murders occurred over the weekend. Parents are also frustrated as to why police have declared this to be an isolated event. Olivia Gonçalves, who's the sister of one of the victims, Kayla Gonçalves, said, quote, anything can be isolated until it's not. And until we have someone in custody, there is no way with any amount of confidence to say this is isolated. This likely goes more to law enforcement investigation than to forensics. But what do you think about how the police have conducted at least the public side of this investigation so far, including at the very beginning of this, saying that there was no ongoing threat to the public, and then yesterday walking that back?
Well, I think what happens in a situation like this is the police know a great deal more than they're telling the public right now.
Well, I think we figured that. I think the police have an idea of who they're looking for.
Mostly because they don't want to alert the perpetrator. And I wouldn't just exclude a single person, exclude more than one person. The knife may have been the same weapon, but that doesn't mean there wasn't a second person there to control 4 people. If all 4 people are there at the same time, it's very hard for one perpetrator to control all 4, not running out, not jumping out the window, not waking up the other 2 people. One of the things that's also interesting about multiple knife stabbings is that if the knife strikes bone, the tip of the knife might break off in the course of the stabbing. And if that tip of the knife is picked up during the autopsy or by X-ray before the autopsy, that can be like a fingerprint of what the weapon is. If weapons are found and they can be matched up with that tip.
These girls are very, very small too. They're very petite, very slight. If a man went into the room, or even, a woman could subdue them. Could subdue them to where they don't make a noise. Put their hand over their mouth and look at Fox's. There's, I'm telling you, man, they really put out shit. Look at this. They're showing a knife. The police said they haven't even recovered a knife. Look.
A building supply company asking if they sell these so-called K-bar knives. These are the standard issue.
Oh, that's the one they're asking about.
Combat knife. You don't have to buy them from a building supply company. I could push add to cart right now because I've got it up online and buy one for $128. But let me just come back to something else. And you said
$128 knife. Why would a woman have this? Why would a woman have this? This would not be something a woman would have.
From a building supply company, I could push add to cart right now because I've got it up online and buy one for $128. But let me just come back to something else. And you said, was there one person or were there 2 people to control the people while the murders took place? This all occurred at about 3 o'clock in the morning after the 4 of this group were out at various parties or going to bars or whatever. You might sleep pretty soundly after a party. Would it be possible, in your estimation, to be able to kill 4 people without anyone else in the house being alerted?
No one said a woman had it.
Well, they wouldn't be alert if there was no calls out or cries for help or struggling. And that's why if you had one person with 4 individuals there at the same time, there would be calls out. And that's why maybe one couple came in before the other couple. And they were bound, gagged, or stabbed. and he waited for the other people to come in, or can't rule out that there was a second person there, another person there to control, and whether or not there was any kind of sexual attack if one was looking for motives of strangers. But it's odd. It's very odd to have two people, unless, as was mentioned earlier,
I just understood the
two
pineapple
in the bedroom, two in the other apartment were bound and gagged and couldn't get out for 4 hours, which sounds unlikely.
Yeah.
Unlikely, but that's also a possibility.
All right, just a lot of details to take in there, and
it's absolutely horrific. I mean, any way you look at it. This is just insane. Okay, let's go back to here for a minute. Let me make sure you guys can see. See, that's the part right there where he switches his hat around. Wait, what's this? We will find you. All right, let's listen.
It is.
Oh, fuck. I'll probably get copyrighted. Here we go.
Now been more than 3 days since 4 University of Idaho students were found murdered, and police are telling students and residents they shouldn't be concerned for their own safety. But that is hardly reassuring for the rattled community or for the victims' families.
Oh, the family said that. Okay. I'm just like, what? This is just perplexing, isn't it? Sorry, I'm being so quiet. I'm just... Oh, I know I hate that slowed voice. It, like, creeps me out. That's why I always mute it when I'm doing that. And this is... Yeah, he definitely has Nikes on. For sure, for sure. So did they not know each other were both at this food truck? How come big guy's face is always cut out? And the food truck guy, too, he was like, oh, hey, welcome back. And how many cameras does the food truck have? Yeah, a fat guy in a little coat. Oh, there he is. I thought he was shielded. He has like really skinny legs, too. It seems like they knew everybody there, guys. Yeah, I'm watching Hoodie Guy. He's hovering. They're videoing. The two blondes are on the left videoing. I don't know where Big Dude went. Okay, the girls take off running. He puts his hand up like, what the hell? Yeah, I was going to say, I looked at the stats of the crime stats there. Zero rapes. This is Inside Edition, Mike Sanner. Zero rapes, zero murders last year. Literally, no rapes, no murders, no manslaughters, no sexual assaults. I mean, he could have said something to these girls prior to us seeing them on camera. Hey, Mary. So we had no kidnappings, no essays, no rapes. We had 95 simple assaults, 2 intimidation, 0 robberies, 13 motor vehicle thefts, 79 fraud offenses, 1 stolen property offenses, 91 drug violations. And that's for the whole year. That's for the whole year. So, I mean, I think it's got to be they were targeted and they know they were targeted for some reason. Is it social media? Is it something that was going on social media that someone followed them that yeah, we already watched that. That must be one of the roomies. You think that's one of the roomies that was there? I mean, there was crimes, but nothing major. So I wonder if that's one of the roomies. Yeah. Oh, yeah, exactly, Eugene. A lot of times that's what sparks them off is the rejection. That's a neighbor, Olive. We do not believe there is an ongoing threat from the Moscow, Idaho Police Department. But there's a reason why these two look alike and look like they do. I mean, I know a lot of girls do, but the way they pose and shit, they do a lot of postings and like staged postings and shit. The bodies were found by a friend who doesn't live in the house. Well, someone called 911 about an unconscious person. The one girl is teeny tiny. Interesting, Rabbit. I just think something about social media just... I mean, you see those two girls and then you see these two. And like... I have a feeling that those blondes, one of those blondes or both of those blondes were the target. Because these two were in the same room together. And honestly, I think this girl's more beautiful than those other girls wore too much makeup. But I think that they were probably the target. Because these two were a couple. They were just, with minding their biz in the same room, Well, I'm sure she does get made up, but I'm just saying, like, they're bleached blonde. They stand out there. You guys know what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying. Why an unconscious person? Unless they couldn't get in the room. Because why would you say that? Because 911 would be like, okay, they're unconscious. Are they breathing? That would be their first question. Are they breathing? And if the person said, I don't know, they'd be like, can you go check? I need you to check. And if they're not breathing, I need you to start doing CPR. Summer. Say hi to everybody. Summer says hello. Yeah, I mean, we can sit here and guess until the cows come home. You know what I mean? But I bet you that it was really bad with Ethan and his girlfriend. Because I bet you that Ethan fought. Targeted crime of passion. Oh, shit. What if, there could be something like if one of these girls had, a sugar daddy or something and they had a wife. I mean, there's so many things it could be. That's what I would like to know, Jesse Essex. How are they determining that it's not a threat to the community? There was a keypad on the door. So that means that there was probably a camera too. If Ethan fought, then someone would have heard. Right. How do you stab two people? How does one person go into a room with two people and stab them both and no one hears the thing? I wonder if they just don't want one of the roommates to know they're a suspect. So they're saying, we don't have a suspect. Because they're kind of talking out of both sides of their mouths. So we have to think about that. They're saying on one hand, the public's not in danger. How would they know that? Other than if they know who did it, or they're watching the person, or they're watching the person that did it. You know what I'm saying? Not a murder-suicide. They've ruled that out. So, just because they're saying the roommates, they don't have a suspect in this and that, doesn't mean it's true. But they're not saying, what's interesting is they're not saying, you know how sometimes we hear the cops go, everyone's a suspect. But then on the other hand, these guys are saying, we don't have a suspect. Why is it always worded differently? And it has a different meaning. And 9 hours between the murders and the call and the damn. Oh, dude, no. One of these roommates or both these roommates did it, because it has to be. Think about it. The blood was on the first floor, not the second floor. the first floor was leaking blood. Well, there had to have been bodies downstairs for the blood to leak out the house. Exactly. If they have eyes on the suspect, it's not a threat to the public. But they can't say that. So then they have reporters going, like, asking, well, how can you say it's not a threat to the public if you don't have a suspect? And then they're kind of in a pickle because they don't want to, like, let someone know they're a suspect. I didn't say there was no blood on the second floor. I didn't say that. Pan, I didn't say that. What I said was the picture of the blood was leaking out the house on the first floor. So there had to have been bodies on the first floor. And Alicia just explained it. She said there's 2 bedrooms on each floor. And I'm taking your word for it. They don't want the suspect to think they're watching. Exactamundo. It only took me 2 hours to figure that out. So I guess whoever the other 2 roommates are, it's going to be one or both of them. All right, we can end this now. Let's just wait. I mean, for real. I mean, it's kind of obvious, too, because they're the last ones to see him. They're the ones that called 911, said unresponsive. No, how about bludgeoned? And then the other thing is the time between the murders and when they called. Right, and they may be keeping an eye on this person to see what they're doing so that they can nail their balls to the wall, right?
Jeepers.
So whoever it was that said, Gray has this with audio. Go watch. No, don't go watch Gray. But did Gray also figure out that all we had to do was wait and find out who the roommates are because it's one or both? Bludgeoned. They were bludgeoned. Yes. Yes. Pan. Check the link I sent. Where are you sending a link? I mean, it's the most logical. It's the most plausible, unless it's a serial killer, but they're saying it was targeted. Alexis, I heard that somewhere. That's what happened, Nicole. So someone called, said that it was no, bludgeoned isn't with a hammer. Bludgeoned is a description. It doesn't mean it's with a certain instrument. It was a knife. All right. I mean, let's just say it like it is. They were stabbed. We know that. I mean, common sense. But it was bloody and it was bad. And bludgeoned, I mean, I get what you're saying, but I mean, really? Using force? I cannot. I can't even believe that I'm having to use the definition of bludgeoned. Yeah, brutal. Bludgeoning is using force. So if you stab someone 100 fucking times, you have bludgeoned them to death. I don't care what you say. Honey Bear, true, but we can't take Debbie Collier's case and melt it into this case. I don't think we can do that. What's a 4-hour video? And I'll reenact that if you'd like. Yeah, like the coroner said, they asked her, have you ever seen anything like this? She was like, no. She was like, no. So were they stabbed or were they bludgeoned? I mean, there's blood dripping down the foundation on the outside of the house. I don't know. Don't start doxing people here. Don't put Hoodie Guy's name. I don't want to do that. We will wait for the next update. This is going to be one to watch for sure. This is going to be crazy. And I've got tons of updates tomorrow. I've got updates on the Whittier crash. All kinds of stuff going on. I've got a loaded show tomorrow. The roommates didn't sleep through it. One of the roommates did it. I'm calling it now. And this guy was executed in Texas after killing his pregnant ex-girlfriend and her 7-year-old. I can't see anybody more fitting for the death penalty than him. But anyways, we'll keep our eye on this case, guys. Thank you, Haley. Yeah, I know. People just like to give creators a hard time. It's all right. We do not, Odessa. I don't know anything about the surviving roommates. But they weren't injured. They had absolutely no injuries and were clueless to the fact that this even happened. But they're female. Oh, check my text. Hold on. So the coroner says she's sending the autopsy press release soon. Thank you for the timeline, too. And there's too many unanswered questions. I mean, we could sit here and speculate. To speculate. True, Potato. Jodi Arias, she definitely pulled it off. But why would the two be spared? All right, let me see if that's out. Okay, hang on. That's quick for 4 autopsies. Well, I guess it's Thursday. The bodies released to the families. Let's see. Nope, it's not out yet. I just confirmed with, let's see, I'm going to share my screen. Let's go. Motive of the roommate? I don't know. I mean, just because the cops are saying they don't think it's a random attack, that could be to keep the masses calm too. There's just too many what ifs. It says that I just confirmed with Spokane medical examiner has completed the autopsies on the 4 UI students. She just sent the report and recommendations to the Latah County coroner 30 minutes ago. What? Kirstie Alley. Yeah, so I guess that's about it right now. So we will wait. Thank you, Baya, for sending me that. I do, Tea Tree. Yeah, we don't. I mean, there's just so many what ifs, you guys. There's too many. And we don't know if anybody saw anything. I mean, I don't know. There's just too many what ifs right now. Star Wars? I don't think so. I mean, if you're going to bludgeon and I said bludgeon. I'm freezing right now. If you're going to bludgeon your roommates for coming home late, you'd have to be off your damn rocker. All right. Well, we will keep our eye on this, you guys. Glowing, oily skin, Jay. I need oily skin products. My skin is oily. Yeah, it is a nice area, but I think that you guys are gonna find this isn't gonna like put a black mark on their area. Because there's probably going to be an explanation for this. I hope. Because if it goes open-ended, it's going to be really scary. Man, I just don't know. I don't know how you could have that happen in a house and no one know. They do. Star Wars, you're right. Thanks, Potato. You're gorgeous yourself. You guys are all gorgeous today. You're gorgeous on this Thursday. And guys, you're very handsome on this Thursday. So guys and gals, I'm going to wrap this up, even though I love just sitting here bullshitting with you guys like you're sitting at my kitchen table or sitting in my living room. That's how I feel. Like I feel like when I look at the chat, like you're just sitting in my living room. But unfortunately, I have to go because duty calls. Doggies have to go to the bathroom. And M, I will check my email. I will check all the texts and everything. I have a nice timeline that was sent. I think we definitely have footprints leaving that place. If there's blood dripping out, definitely. So, Christy, that's a good point. We don't know. Enjoy your dinner tonight, you guys, and make sure you tune in tomorrow when I do the updates. I have a loaded show tomorrow, like I said. Tons of updates, and it's going to be really interesting and a lot of good commentary. So thank you for being here. Enjoy your Thursday evening and bundle up. You too, Robin. It's getting cold down here in the Floridas. It is chilly. So I had long sleeves on, but I've got shorts on. I'm like, I can't wear pants and long sleeves, but I think I'm going to go have to put some pants on and some socks, actually. So, all right, you guys. Dance it out, and thanks for being here. I enjoy all of you every day, and I'll see you guys hopefully tomorrow. Roberters, and hey, I went easy on the sound bite, so this is your going out sound bite.
John Wayne Bobbitt's penis.
Bye, guys.
I don't give a damn. I don't really care about you and your problems. I don't give a damn. You talk way too much. I have heard enough about you and your problems. I don't give a damn. 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 You wanna be with me. You wanna feel something real, but I'm feeling differently. You're making plans to get to France, but don't wanna face the fact that I ain't got time, I ain't got time, I ain't got time for that. Staying up late, sleeping all day, dreaming about Cadillacs. Buying new shoes, hanging by the pool, sipping on Coke and Jack. Calling my phone when you feel alone, but I'll never call you back. 'Cause I ain't got time, I ain't got time. got problems, I don't give a damn. You talk way too much. I have heard
La 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 means be quiet and let me finish.
Problems, I don't give a damn. 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 You wanna be with me. You wanna feel something real, but I'm feeling differently. You're making plans to get to France, but don't wanna face the fact that I ain't got time, I ain't got time, I ain't got time for that. Mary, why you bugging? Buy new shoes, hanging by the pool.
Jay's a winner, not a big dinner. You'll see Jay again, my friend.
Jeepers.